So this is just a quick video on Webflow. This is one I've been meaning to do for a while actually, and I'm a bit late to the party with Webflow. If I'm honest, it's been around for quite a few years now. I started to play around with it and have a look at it a couple of years ago, and because I'm wanting to get back into it myself, I thought it'd be just a good video to do, just to sort of try and explain a bit about it and getting started with it and my personal thoughts on it from both someone that's had web design experience and what you can expect if you don't have any web design experience and you may be looking at it or thinking about using it to make a website of your own. So this is the Webflow site here, and these examples here are websites that were built using Webflow, and I've got to say they're pretty impressive for what they are, for these examples. Now some of them, like this, if I just refresh the page, there's obviously been some extra JavaScript code added in and other code added in over the top of the template or code that they've used to make this, and that's something I'll touch on in a little while. But there's definitely a difference in getting started with Webflow, creating something from scratch versus taking a template and then altering that. So as you can see, there's quite a unique look and feel to this one here. And so if I just sort of touch on some of the templates really as a starting point. So what Webflow is great for, I would say, is if you're looking to just have a lot more of a functionality rich site compared to something like WordPress or Wix or Squarespace or something of that nature. The templates out of the box are really quite, so this is just like an e-commerce theme that I've found, and similar to a lot of the other website builders that are out there, they do offer both free and premium themes. And this one, just for example, is really quite premium, and there's a lot of little functions like that sort of code there that stops that section from scrolling when you get to a certain point in the browser. That would take quite a bit of effort to do in something like WordPress with custom code. So this out of the box, the themes are great. And here's another one. This is just a basic portfolio site, and just out of the box it looks great. It's got these lovely transitions. It's all really quite nice and professional and sharp, and what you'd expect if you're paying sort of, I don't know how much that is, like $129. I think it's really impressive. So as I mentioned, if I just quickly sort of explain the two differences between the scenarios that you're going to have compared to the other website builders that are out there. So this is a test site that I set up a couple of years ago, and so this is my dashboard here, and it does look very, very different to probably a lot of other CMSs that you've maybe used before. That is something I would say to consider. There is a bit of a learning curve here. If you don't have any web design experience, and you're trying to create something from scratch, it's going to be a very steep learning curve to essentially learn some of the coding fundamentals and how you would build a website, as it does sort of work from that aspect and that way of learning. So it doesn't remove the coding at all really. It's presenting your code in a visual point of view. So if I just open the designer, you'll see what I mean. So this is my home page here, and you'll sort of notice straight away it's pretty much a full page editor like you would have with Elementor or something similar like that in WordPress. So it is very simple in the sense that, so this is the template that I've just installed. So and let's say, for example, I want to edit this here. So unlike WordPress and some of the other CMS, you'd have to go into one menu, click another menu over here and start typing away, but you can literally just go in here and just put whatever. You can just type in whatever. So it's great in that sense. And I think that the difficulty comes in if you are a beginner and you have no web design experience whatsoever, is or some of this can look quite overwhelming if you don't fully really understand coding. So for example, if I was to go to this hero paragraph here and I want to make the width a little bit longer, if I try to click and drag there, you'll see I can't do that because it doesn't operate in the same way. So you'll see over here you've got your sizing for that particular element there that's been set in the CSS, and this is showing you all the CSS elements here. So you have to know that, okay, so I'm looking at the width here, it's got an auto width, and you can see there's a max width here that's been applied. So you'd have to know that the that particular element isn't going to go beyond 400 pixels width. So unless you change that to say, I don't know, 900, let's say, you can then extend that. And like I say, it doesn't stop you from learning web design and picking that up, and you get more familiar with it the more that you play around with this. But when I first installed Webflow, well, not installed it, but logged on and made an account and got the theme installed and just started playing around, it did sort of catch me off guard that it didn't operate in the same way that WordPress and some of the other CMSs do. It is very different in that sense, but it does have a lot of similarities to a lot of the other CMSs. So if I go to here, the navigator, this is showing you the whole structure of your page. So you can see at the top here we've got the nav bar, and it's just showing you how everything is structured. You've got the pages section here. So this is a really nice feature in seeing how you've got everything set up, seeing everything at a glance. And so let's say, for example, I wanted to change my contact page. All you have to do is just click that and you're taken straight to it. You don't have to exit out of that menu and go back to another menu or type it in the address bar here. You can pretty much get to it straight away, which I think is great, and just speeds up your workflow. And similar to how you may have seen in other content management systems, you've got your responsive viewport viewer up here. You can see how everything looks, and you've got you can also drag it to resize it to different screen widths. You can add new users, and you've got an e-commerce section, but I haven't really played around with that, but I think that's mainly an additional account to do that. And you've got your assets here, which you can upload all your images and logos, and you've got your just general settings for the site and your backups, which I think that's great. Again, the fact that it's just built in automatically. There does seem to be a lot of video tutorials built in as well, which I think is great, and I had to watch a couple. Admittedly, when I was trying to set up an initial page, I was a little bit confused as to how I actually got started, but what I did watch, it was great. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think of something else I can just talk through. And yeah, so if I'm on the home page here and I'm wanting to just look at the SEO for the page, you can really easily do that just by clicking this settings icon here, and you see you've got the page name, you've got the access control if you have multiple users or you want to lock or specify certain content for certain users. In here you've got your SEO meta tags, and all that sort of information is down here. And you've got custom code as well, which you have to have an actual hosting plan to do, I believe. And you know, for the price, for what you're probably paying to host and use another CMS system, I think this is great, and it's definitely something that I'll be doing some more videos in. So yeah, so I hope this just shows you a little bit more about what Webflow is, the possibilities of it for your website, and just some things to consider if you are looking at using it, if you're a complete beginner in web design, or web design isn't your forte. So yeah, I'll definitely be making some more of these videos just to explain a bit more about certain features of it in the way that I have been doing with the WordPress videos. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Cheers.